All right. Welcome to another video. In this one, we are gonna have a look at the Infernal Assault event. IA is the single best event to farm gold in Infinity Kingdom, and with this build, these two builds that I'm gonna present today, we are gonna learn how to farm level 43 IA camps and cores without taking any major losses. Very few losses, both on core and camps. So you can pretty much keep farming these for as long as you got AP and as long as you got mates running the same kind of thing. You can do it forever and get billions of gold in no time. So, first up, why is this important? This is important because you need a lot of gold. IA as an event is important because you need a lot of gold. If you haven't watched the video, up here in the corner you can go ahead and click in and see a video about how to farm gold, where we also mention Infernal Assault as one of the best avenues. In this one, we're gonna just expand on that. We need gold to upgrade our Immortals and upgrade our dragons, and we need quite a lot of gold all in all, so you're gonna want to farm it consistently and efficiently. That's what this video is about and the builds I'm gonna present today. But before we dive too far into the video and have a look at these IA builds, just a quick reminder, Huawei Campaign, spend wisely, always do everything efficiently in Infinity Kingdom, farm gold efficiently and spend your money efficiently. So go ahead and take advantage of the pay and save campaign from Huawei, it's great. Basically, you just spend flowers, you spend dollars and or euros and you earn flowers in this campaign. These flowers can be banked and be redeemed for coupons, which gives you up to 20% back on your purchases. That really does save quite a lot in the long run. Getting 20% more value is quite nice in a game we've been spending on for 3 years. That really does add up. If you need guidance or links to how to download the AppGallery app, how to get an Infinity Kingdom campaign working on your AppGallery app, or something completely different, go ahead and join the AppGallery Discord server. In there are guides and mods helping you out, etc. They also have a giveaway channel. I think it's going to be revived, but stay tuned for that one. I would definitely enable notifications for now, but it hasn't been running for a bit. Either way, the Huawei campaign, go ahead and use it. It is the best way to spend your money efficiently on Infinity Kingdom. So, back to Infernal Camps, Infernal Assault Camps and Cores. There are two things to understand about Infernal Attack. You have camps and you have cores. These are inherently different. In the camps, we have a long series of gnomes which we're fighting, which are gnome camps set up like it was 4 different immortals fighting you. Whereas the core is a boss fight. That means you need two completely different builds to fight cores and camps. This is also why you will have probably at some point hit a core and taken some massive losses. That would likely be because you're using either a PvP build or a gnome based PvE build. But this is also the limiting factor for how much you can actually farm in IA, because the AP bank is going to be your limiting factor. So you want to push the level of your IE camps and cores as high as you possibly can in order to earn as much gold per AP spent as you can. For me, right now, that's 43. I can take that reliably and without taking major losses, so I can pretty much continue doing this for as long as I have time and AP bottles. That means billions of gold, because at 43 you are getting 500,000 just for the core alone, and quite a lot of gold on every single camp as well. So the first build we're gonna present is the camp clearing build. So this is there are some people who like to do this in 2 different formations. You can do that. You can set up a boss killer build. You probably have that already in a formation, and then you have another formation that is good at killing the camps. That works just fine. For me, I don't want to have to go ahead and switch between formations all the time. I'm lazy and I want to have it in one formation with one setup fighting camps and one setup fighting bosses. So that's what we're gonna do here. This first one is the Earth Himiko with Charles. Charles is an important one here. While there are big spender skills in here, there's Purifier and Energy Shield, which everybody probably doesn't have, but you can swap those out pretty easily. But this is the build that I use to fight all the gnome camps and not take any major losses. Going over them one by one, Himiko, we got Berserk for attack speed. This is needed to get high damage from Alexander and to get Charles to quickly reach max energy because he has Adrenaline Rush. The attack speed helps him. We also got Annihilation and Concentration. These are on Himiko because they are just the highest damage output AoE for magic users, and they are skills which are procced quickly, so they get to ramp up some damage. You can also use something like Spell Disintegrator, but I like that for my boss setup. Zenobia, Oaken Guard, we want to reduce the amount of damage we're taking from normal attacks. The thing that you're gonna take losses from in clearing these gnome camps is their normal attacks. They are likely not going to be able to cast a spell, and if they are, it doesn't really deal that much damage anyway. So what we want to do is we want to minimize the physical damage taken, and we want to minimize the amount of attacks taken, because we're killing a lot of marchers every time we're clearing a camp. So if they all just hit one attack more, we are actually taking significant additional losses. That's also why we have Purify, because although its healing is quite low in terms of numbers, and you probably don't really value it as a strictly healing skill, more of a dispel skill for PvP content. But in this case, it actually works very, very well because the low damage of gnome hits can be healed back up by Purify, which procs very, very frequently and thus ensures that it actually gets off in these battles, which are like 20 seconds long. Lastly, we have misleading here because we want the gnomes to miss as many attacks as possible. Missing one attack is just straight up troops saved. For Alexander, we got Berserker. You could also run Anger or Wind Rage if you don't have Berserker. We got that for added damage and attack speed. Combine that with Cleave and Death Breath, and your Alexander will make quick work of anything he is facing. All these 4 gnome camps are going to be AoE cleaved down by Alex and Himiko very, very quickly. For Charles, we're running, you can run him with weakness here. I did that initially just to increase the amount of critical hits we are making, because that does make quite a big difference in terms of how quickly can you wipe out a camp. That's very good, and Himiko crits are extremely good, so it works quite well. I have swapped that into Energy Shield now because I just want the tad more defensive capacity, and it does protect from a few more losses. But if you do not have Energy Shield, weakness here is an excellent skill. More than that, we got Blessing of Defense, absolute must-have. We are running very short fights, so you have the buff for the entire duration. That's very powerful. And Adrenaline Rush, because we need quick shields to soak up that normal attack damage. The faster we get Charles' shield on, the fewer attacks we take, or the less troop losses we take. That's the first build. That's the camp clearing build. For the second march, we got the core killing build. So this is a boss killer build. For that, I modeled it on fire. Obviously, almost always run fire fighting bosses. It's very, very good. Basically, it's built for high single target damage as well as some troop defense on our tank, because we do need a lot of single target damage, but we also want to take as little damage and as few troop losses as we possibly can against bosses. It's a bit easier because bosses are tanked by one immortal. In this case, it's our Kublai Khan who's tanking, so we're running like lifelink and absolute defense on him. But most crucial for sort of the Immortals is that we are running single target Immortals. So you want to run something like Yoshi, Wu, Hippo. Kublai Khan is also great. Tutankhamun is great. There's more Immortals like this. You can also run Matilda in back if you have that and make it an energy setup. You know, you can use a lot of different Immortal skill setups for this, and basically go ahead and look up your best boss killer build, use that, and add a bit of defensive capacity to your tank if you do not have that already. But this is what I'm running, and it works amazingly. For Empress Wu, we've got Poison Thorn, high single target damage. It's great. I would have liked to take Concentration, but we use that in our gnome killing setup, and it's more important to have there because we need to clear those camps more quickly. So instead, we use Blessing of War here. Fits quite well with the fact that we are really pumping out a high damage build here. We are not building a lot of defensive capacity here, like in general on Yoshi and Hippo and Wu. So War will just boost up your damage quite a lot. Lastly, Root is actually an amazing skill for bosses, both because it deals quite excellent single target damage, but more importantly, it roots the boss. That means that the boss is unable to attack your immortal, and that's just pure troops saved. It's great, and it is how I can't remember if I actually did this in a video. If not, then ping me because I'm gonna do it then. But I built some boss killing setups where we actually pretty consistently kill max level bosses with 0 losses, like in actual 0 losses, not even wounded troops, because we have so much control in the setup and so much single target burst. Anyway, that's the kind of the point of Root, right? You want to control the boss as well, because Root deals damage, Root mitigates damage. It's great. For Yoshi, we got Anger or Onslaught if you're using Anger in your gnome camp killing build. Like if you don't have Berserker, you want Anger on Alex. In that case, use Onslaught here. But Anger Yoshi, Snipe Dual Master for the highest single target physical damage that you can get. You could also use Adrenaline Rush here for quite excellent effect, but again, we would rather have that on our Charles. But if you are doing 2 separate formations, Adrenaline Rush is extremely good on Yoshi. For Hippo, we are running Wind Rage, Combo, and Energy Burst. This makes her surprisingly deal quite a high amount of both normal and combo damage. She's quite excellent with this skill setup, and it procs Energy Burst quite a lot because we are getting very frequent attacks. We're getting a lot more normal attacks hitting, and we are pumping on top of that burst combo procs, which will activate your energy burst and give her a very high energy region. That means casting her ultimate, which deals a lot of single target damage, and again, which controls the boss. Hippo is crucial here because Hippo's ultimate ability removes energy region from the boss in the core, meaning that it can't make its spell and it can't really deal a lot of damage to you or give it self-sustain or whatever it does. And it's just very, very good. It also reduces attack speed on the boss, which is quite excellent. Kublai Khan. In this one, we use lifelink and absolute defense. As I said, it's a nice combination for bosses, to minimize the damage that you take. While you're not going to see massive damage on these bosses, like you're not going to see the same kind of damage that you see on a spider bus, for instance. Also meaning that your lifelink is not going to deal reflective damage for any major way. But the important thing about keeping it here is just retention of troops. It's not so much that you deal damage with lifelink, it's more that you are protecting your troop count with lifelink and absolute defense. Right, So, and that with Hippolyta's ultimate ability, it just makes the boss unable to do anything but normal attacks. And on normal attacks, you got your absolute defense and lifelink, right? That's neat, that's great. Lastly, I run Blessing of Rage here on Kublai Khan because all of our mortals here, every single one of them, are built to scale incredibly well with energy regen. So getting as much of that as possible is just really, really great. That's it. With these builds, I'm able to kill Infernal Assault camps and cores at level 43, taking minimal to almost no losses. I'm losing like 350 troops per fight, which is extremely low and something I can manage for hours and hours and hours on end without ever having to spend a single speed up. Um, I have not been able to push much further than this without increasing the troop losses quite significantly. So right now, this is where I'm at for the most efficient Infernal Assault farming, meaning the most efficient gold farming. This is how you farm 1 billion or 2 billion gold in a single event. Anyway, have fun, best of luck. If you are struggling to set this up or have questions, reach out in the Discord. I am Myrak in server 105. You can find me there, find me on Discord, find me on the IKWiki website, find me here on YouTube. Reach out. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one. As always, please do subscribe to the channel. I consistently release new content here on the IK channel and on the official IK Wiki website. Links are in the description. On these channels, you can find guides from everything in IK, from events to talents, passives, finished builds, and game mechanics. With that, I'm gonna leave you, and as always, thank you for watching and see you for the next one.